Hey, Daily Dosers. My name is Tracie, one of the pastors over at Carlsbad, and I am here to continue in our series on relationships in 1 John, and we're going to start in chapter 3, verse 1. See what kind of love the Father has given to us that we should be called children of God, and so we are. So I'm going to stop right there. And it made me immediately think about, being adopted into the family of God. And one of the things that I do for my kids, and not quite so much anymore, but certainly when they were teenagers, as they're whipping past me, going out the door, I'd be like, remember who you are and remember whose you are. And then if I would get maybe a little bit of an idea that maybe some shenanigans are going to go on and something a little bit more hearty, I would get them by the shoulders. And I would look them in the eye and I would say, remember who you are and remember whose you are and make good choices. And I'd get a little roll of the eye and off they would go, but I would have said my piece. And I feel like this is where John is talking to us. Like, remember who you are, your kids. God himself has taken you on, and we now are image and name bearers of child of God. So let's read on and let's unpack this a little bit. So he says, beloved, we are God's children now, and what we will be has not yet appeared, but we know that when he appears, we shall be like him, because we shall see him as he is, and everyone who this hopes in him purifies himself as he is pure. Everyone who makes a practice of sinning also practices lawlessness. Sin is lawlessness. You know that he appeared in order to take away sins, and in him there is no sin. No one who abides in him keeps on sinning. No one who keeps on sinning has either seen him or known him. Little children, kids, he says, let no one deceive you. Whoever practices righteousness is righteousness, because he is righteous. Whoever makes a practice of sinning is of the devil, for the devil has been sinning from the beginning. The reason the Son of God appeared was to destroy the works of the devil. No one born of God makes a practice of sinning, for God's seed abides in him, and he cannot keep on sinning, because he has been born of God. By this it is evident who are the children of God and who are the children of the devil. Whoever does not practice righteousness is not of God, nor is the one who does not love his brother. Did you notice how many times the word practice is in there? And I was thinking about anybody who is good at their skill or their craft. It didn't happen on accident. It was this habitual, intentional getting up, working on my skills, plowing through, doing it over and over and over again, and over time with failures and disappointments and getting back up and being intentional about it again and practicing the skills. They get better at what they're doing. And John is saying the same thing. It's like you got to practice, you got to be intentional, you got to get up. Even in the hard times, you got to have the discipline to practice righteousness. It's just a churchy word for right living. And he makes it really clear. You are either practicing sin or you are practicing right living. And as children of God, we need to be practicing right living. And I love how this is right in the middle of this relationship series, because man, we have an opportunity to practice right living every day, in and out, while we're all kind of stuck together and we're with our spouses and our kids way more than we have ever been before. So you say, like, well, what do I practice? Practice righteousness. What does that mean? Well, in Ephesians, it lays it out for us. And so I'm in Ephesians 4. And on 29, it says, let no corrupt talk come out of your mouth, but only such as good for building up as fits the occasion. Okay, if we'd stop right there, we'd be pretty good if we just practiced that right there. But if you go down to verse 31, it says, let all bitterness and wrath and anger and clamor and slander be put away from you. Then it says, here we go. Here's what we're going to practice this week. Be kind to one another, tender-hearted, forgiving one another, as God in Christ forgave you. Man, if we can practice that, we will be more like Christ and more like his kids than ever before when we're done with this whole quarantine thing, right? So my challenge to you today is, first of all, ask yourself, have I taken on that name? Have I taken on the name of child of God? Or do I just use it when it's convenient, or when it's good, or when it feels good, or it fits my occasion? Or am I a child of God, and I'm going to work towards, and I'm going to practice towards right living and being more like him? And second of all, am I practicing those things? Am I remembering who I am and whose I am and making good choices? Oh, I encourage us to just practice those things today, being kind-hearted and tender-hearted, and our words being building up to other people. And we will look more like his kids every day.